Hello there! Yeah, I decided to do another episode on the same day. This is Craig from LL3 Podcast, and today is December 14th, 2013, and it looks like the clouds cleared up a little bit, so a lot more sunnier in the swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today I would like to address our birthday of the Bill of Rights, which is written by a great man called L. Neil Smith. Tomorrow to be exact, on December 15th, will be the 222nd birthday of this great document. And all I gotta do is just have you read it, and I'm gonna read it and take it from there. Alright, here we go. And you can get this link on the JPFO's website, and I have put it on the title page as well. Alright? This is it. Happy 222nd birthday, Bill of Rights. It's by, again, L. Neil Smith, and you can contact him at lneil@netzero.com. And how he spelled Neil is Neil. And he's from the Libertarian Enterprise. Alright? Here we go. December 15th is the anniversary of the ratification of the highest law of the land, the first 10 amendments made to the United States Constitution, commonly known as Bill of Rights, there's a link to that as well, okay? This document, the spirit of liberty it represents, is arguably the only thing that makes American different from any other country in the history of the world. However, there are important facts about the Bill of Rights most people aren't aware of. To begin with, it is far from the first Bill of Rights in history. Look up the Bill of Rights online. You'll find lost among dozens of similar declarations made by the rulers of nations in which people have no right, never did, and likely never will. Nor it is the first to be violated by the authorities. There were, for example, several Magna Cartas which were cornered. King John signed grudgingly and violated as soon as he had sufficient power. He wasn't the first to believe that. If he made the law, he was above the law. Hence the psalmist's warning, "Put not thy trust in princes." The Bill of Rights today is the greatest danger it has faced since the war between the states, when it was gleefully cast aside by the Lincoln administration. Second, and probably the most important fact about the Bill of Rights, is that it creates no right, nor does it grant of any kind to anybody. The Bill of Rights is not just a laundry list of things that government generously allow the people to do. It is a list of things that the government is absolutely forbidden to do under any circumstances. Perhaps it would have been better and certainly more accurate to call it the Bill of Prohibitions or the Bill of Limitations. It may sound awkwardly, Bill of Limitations, but if we've been saying it every day for the past 222 years, it will become trippingly off the tongue. A third important thing to know about the Bill of Rights is that although it came last among our nation's founding document, it is the basis on which everything else rests. The Articles of Confederation, America's second founding document following the Declaration of Independence, were rejected because they failed to give enough power and therefore money to certain elites, mainly bankers like Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton, already forming up with the new country. The elite themselves call themselves the Federalists. The Anti-Federalists, Thomas Jefferson prominently among them, insisted on a Bill of Rights. Limits on government power over the individual is an absolute condition on which their acceptance of the rest of the Constitution depended. All political power in the United States ultimately derives from the Constitution, and since it is the nature of amendments that they supersede to take precedence over everything that came before them, that makes the Bill of Rights the highest law of the land. To any extent, and that politicians and bureaucrats ignore or abuse the Bill of Rights, to that extent undermine and nullify their own authority. They need to be made aware of that. Incidentally, those who worry that their Second Amendment rights may be taken away by treaties with the United Nations, for example, should take comfort in fact that while treaties are given equivalence to the body of the Constitution, as well as other laws, by the very nature of amendments, nothing trumps the Bill of Rights. But I digress. This auto-nullification, to coin a term, may be why no penalty clause was ever written, as it should have been, into the Bill of Rights to deter renegade bureaucrats and politicians. Given the intelligence of the founders, it certainly couldn't have been an accident, although it may reflect Hamilton's skullduggery. But if that's the case, to subtlety of the thing has been lost on subsequent generations. There are those theoretically on the side of freedom who holds that the Bill of Rights is only a piece of paper of no value because it can't enforce itself. However, no agreement of any kind is self-enforcing. Ordinary contracts occasionally have to be enforced by law, figuratively or even literally at gunpoint, while we continue to look for better ways to do it. However, when the contract is with the law itself, citizens may have to call upon the Second Amendment. That's what it is there for. Finally, there are some who insist there are no absolutes in life, and that the whole world, or at least the world of mortality, is made of silly putty. However, if the Bill of Rights was not meant to be absolute, an idea that invariably finds favor among intellectual palace guards, pundits, politicians, and professors during periods of government lawlessness. Why did the founders even bother to write it? I am content that the Bill of Rights means what the founders meant to mean, and that I can understand what they intended. They were a generation of plain-spoken men who wrote it clearly and beautifully. It is my purpose in life, and you ought to make it yours, to see that the guarantees that made us are stringently and energetically enforced. That was written again by L. Neil Smith. who's an author and lecturer, is a senior editorial consultant for Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, a 50-year veteran of the libertarian movement. He is the author of 33 books, including Probability Broach, Crace, Sweeter Than Wine, and Down with Power. Another thing you can add too is Hope, which he co-wrote with Aaron Zellman. A very good, I call it a political science fiction novel. You can go on jpf4.org to check it out. It's called Hope, H-O-P-E, and it's about imagine if a president honors the Bill of Rights. Very good novel. I'll recommend that. Of course, libertarian in time of crisis. He's also the publisher of the Libertarian Enterprise. Now is in the 17th year online. All I have to say about this, Mr. Smith did a fantastic job. I can't argue, can't complain, can't criticize him. A lot of information he put out, past facts. Look it up. Absolutely look it up. And it's one thing about the internet, you can do a lot of good research, study a lot more history, and get vital information instead of all little junk and garbage and trendy forte that you can just flush that down the toilet. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, brother, here's my perspective on his commentary. That's right. And if you love freedom, you should do the same thing. Get that place going. Spread this information around to all you know, even to your enemies. That's right. Hey, 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 hey. Hail to the Bill of Rights. Hail to the Bill of Rights. Government, keep out the trespassing. Hey, to freedom. To tyranny. That's how I am. Deep down inside, you know I'm right. Yeah, I'm being a little sarcastic, but why not? That's only me. A little bit of a short segment, but you know what? That's how I look at it about the Bill of Rights. The whole thing is, it means government keep out. Government keep out. Send this even to your congressmen, legislators, city councils, even the city manager. You know, bust their chops with this information, and do it with kindness. Just to let them know, this is what you have to honor. This is what you put your oath under, including as an elected servant and registered voter. If you look at your voters registration forms, they have that in there, that your job is to protect and defend both U.S. and state constitutions. Alright? So, plain and simple, man. Send it to your police officers, even people in the military, all across the board. You know, another thing you can do too, instead of going attacking countries, emulate it. Send this information to them. Whether it's in Iraq, Iran, even Cuba. They have it in different languages. Some in Hebrew, Arabic, Spanish. Just go to the JPFL website. The link's on there. It'll take you right to it. And it's really an amazing document, man. I always tell people, I praise it. And expect to have, some people are going to have like little functions about it on the Bill of Rights. I recommend you go online, look it up, and see if they have one in your area. Okay, my friends? Well, that's all the time I have for the time being. I know it's a pretty short segment. This is Craig, coming from the swampy mangroves of South Florida. Wishing you a very safe, happy weekend. And remember, celebrate tomorrow, December 15th, on honoring our Bill of Rights. Until next time, take care, positive blessings, and say no to the New World Order.